Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
All right, well, welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode of Livewire Sports Media. So, couple of days ago, I had did a video with Stephanie White talking on Goodfellow podcast, and she was talking about things that she's looking forward to do with Caitlin Clark and enhance Caitlin Clark game, and she also illustrated about Kelsey Mitchell as well. But she also talked about Aliyah Boston, in which this is where I bring this video in to talk about her a little bit as well. We all know Aliyah Boston was the Rookie of the Year a few years ago, and she made the All-Star 2 years ago, last year and the year before. But now coming into her pivotal third year is that she looking to improve her game. Now, a lot of us has been critical on Aliyah Boston for her weight, slowness, movement, and that stuff like that. But I still hold hope. I still hold hope that she will be a little bit better. And I think with the new addition of players that's coming to the Fever, is going to help motivate her and push her a little bit harder. And so Stephanie White illustrated how she wants to utilize Aliyah Boston now. And I agree with her because you don't want to use Aliyah Boston as a post player that you have to bump her body a lot down low, and where she's not that kind of person. Now that's something that Chrissy Size wanted to do, is use her down low to bump her body, work in the post. When to me, she's a decent post player, but she's not the greatest post player. But she has different skill sets that you could take advantage of to hurt the opposition. So without further ado, I'm gonna click into this video and let Stephanie White tell you, then I'm gonna chime back in.
That two-player game between Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston, by the end of the season, Steph, it really had a lot of growth and rhythm and flow to it. So what do you envision, that part of the game, especially Aliyah Boston here in year two of them together?
I think number one, yes, you're absolutely right. I love the way that they work together in the two-man game. They got so good at reading one another. I think Aliyah is an outstanding facilitator as well from that post position. So we're going to use her a little bit more like a hub, right? Like a little bit more like a Jokic in how she gets the ball, and whether that's in the trail, in a lot of our stuff in flow, or whether that's on the block. I don't want her to have to work as hard, like one-on-one. I don't want her to have to just pound and body and dribble in a one-on-one situation to get shots. We want to make her life easier. How can we get her touches at the rim where she can just go right into her finishes? How can we get her touches off the block where then we can run off ball action and she can be a facilitator? Then she can get into other actions that allow her to move after she's gotten rid of it to get some easy buckets, as opposed to just everybody knows a strong side pick and roll is coming. So a little bit more movement, a little bit more usage in her in terms of facilitating, and a little bit more versatility in her game. I mean, challenging her to become a consistent, doesn't have to be high volume, but a consistent three-point shooter, like looking for those, being able to use other aspects of her game outside of just pounding with her back to the basket.
And that's the point I wanted to illustrate, is pounding your back to the basket. You don't need to be pounding your back. And like I said, that was something Chrissy Size was using Aliyah Boston to do. She wanted to feed the post. She wanted the offense to run through Aliyah Boston. When you have a point guard such as Caitlin Clark, or a guard as Caitlin Clark that's very dynamic, that could do multiple different things, you don't want to utilize the post. And even when you watch Jokic with the Denver Nuggets, he doesn't play in the post like that. He facilitates. He usually, sometimes he'll bring the ball up court. He get the ball up to the top of the key high, and then he allowed Jamal Murray to come around and then do whatever he need to do, or kick it back to him. And then he'll find the easy backdoor person, or whoever the case may be, or open shot for a three. So utilizing Aliyah Boston in that way really will help the offense, because then we seen in the second half of the season where she was facilitating out of that post a little bit more, where she was finding a Kelsey Mitchell or a Damaris Dantas or a Lexi Hall out there, hit threes, or she, swinging back around to Caitlin where Caitlin could get an easy look for a shot. So having her in that form is going to help the offense a little bit more, where she could you do a high screen and roll, and then she could roll off. And been many times that Caitlin will find her, and she's trailing or whatever the case may be. So I think trying to use her in that sense would help the offense a little bit more and help everybody else. And besides keeping her in the post and stuff, the only thing I suggest Aliyah Boston to do is that she needs her footwork to be better. And I think that her footwork has to be better. She has to be a little bit quicker, out of her set. She has to be moving. She can't be lazy with it, because at the end of the day, what you're going to do is you have to take advantage of everything. Like we seen, it was times last year that she had them 10 to 12 foot shots right at the basket. She would not take it. She'll hesitate to take it. You got to hit them shots. Even Stephanie White said, hey, you got to be consistent. You got to be able to knock down those threes. If you out there on the 3-point line and you say you have somebody like a Dantas or whatever doing under the basket, be confident enough to say, hey, let me take this shot. You don't have to, like, we don't want you to be a 3-point specialist all the time, but every little aspect of the offense, the advantage you could take is going to help this team continue to have multiple success, because especially when you know that, okay, um, Caitlin and Kelsey's going to get their shots. But then, people be like, well, they got 3-pointers. Well, if they shut down the Damaris Johnsons and Boston is not hitting no shots, then if she's out there on the 3-point line, guess what? That's and she's knocking them down. Whether she shoot two a game, it don't matter. You make the team honest, and if you hit them, then you make the team adjust to you, because then now they have to pay attention to all five players, not just four, but all five players on the floor. So I do love Stephanie White's analogy on this team and how she's put her stamp on it and how she going to make these players do be in uncomfortable situations and enhance their game a little bit more. That's what I like about it. And she's not. And when you have a coach that watch your team play and say, "Oh, I could get them to do this better. I could get them to do that better." Not sitting there and say, "Oh, well, I'm gonna just be stubborn. We're gonna just play one way," and then it doesn't work, and then you don't know how to adjust during in-game situations. There been many times when the Fever was up in the first half, they was like what, about 20 some points, and then in the third quarter they lose the lead because you don't know how to adjust to what the other teams is doing. So and it's hard. So me personally, I again applaud Stephanie White. I think she's the right person for the job, always been the right person for the job, and it's going to be beautiful. Now, continue on with Aliyah Boston. There's a report came out today that the Indiana Fever has picked up a 4th-year option. So that means that she will be a restricted free agent after 2026. She won't be and they could do whatever they want with her from that point. They could either core her or they could find a trade partner for her. So, but they picked up her 4th-year option, which is a good sign, because now they don't have to worry about dealing with money, and then they don't have to pay her any more money. Even with the new CBA coming in, they don't have to tack on new money to her contract. They just go ahead and pick it up, and then they'll see how she performs after this season and next season, and say, okay, we want to continue on with you, because now the Fever will have they actually will have control. She doesn't have control. They will have control, and they could do whatever they want to do. Like I said, they could trade her because she's a restricted free agent. Because if she was an unrestricted free agent, that means they will have to call her and hope she signed a deal. Now that they picked up her 4th-year option, she's a restricted free agent, and then they could pay her. They could go to the table and say, "Hey, we're gonna pay you this extra amount of dollars." And if she doesn't agree with it, then what they could do is look for a trade partner for her and get a good, decent, solid pick for her. So, but now she's locked in for at least this season and the end of next year. So with that being said, continue to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell anytime I drop a hardcore video. Until the next episode, this is Live Wire Sports. Oh, and by the way, if you can't tell, my voice is a little bit better. I'm a little bit feeling better. I wasn't feeling good the last couple of days, guys, so it was a little rough on me, but I'm back. So until then, salute.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.